Tuendelee. Hiyo ndio PTSD niko nayo, je hiyo bank zako. Tuendelee. Unajua tujafanya kila kitu ya mwezi. Yeah? Daily expenses. Nikaa so mbili per day. Si ndio? Maziwa nini? Haya. Per day expenses. So tumesema kama 200, si ndio? So 6,000. Sadaka tumeshatoa. Unajua tumebaki na 1,000 lakini kuna 6,000 iko hapa. What else? By the way, we are not even I understand kuna sport pesa and gambling. I don't want to go into it because that is another problem that exists. I'm just looking at a normal person who knows they need to do things in their life and they have a job.
So they have negative 5,000.
So what else? Because we haven't finished things here. What else are you spending on? Yes, sir. You want to treat yourself. Because hii pesa yote unajua ijakuja kwako, si ndio? So tujirudishie mwili, pole kwa mwili 1,000 kwa mwezi. Pesa ishaisha hapa, si ndio? Hata si entertainment, ni treating yourself. I have a ritual around that. Whenever I do one of my events, I always treat myself at the end of the day. Because I realize some of these things. You can work and you're giving everyone money, so I always treat myself something for myself after every event. What else is happening?
You have a secret grandfather,
Medical bills. Tumeiweka hapa. Kwa sababu uko 20 something years hatutaki unapitia hiyo Edward saizi? Is this realistic?
It's normal life. That's normal life in Kenya.
So anytime, by the way, if you are on TikTok and you've not seen my face, you are on the wrong side of TikTok. This is what I talk about every day on my TikTok. Because this is the life that people are going through. This is the life that I went through. Because we've been taught that so many vijana tapata kazi nzuri sana, ndio kazi nzuri. Banking is a good job. And as we are growing up and our parents tell us work hard to get employment, they were not evil saying it. Because in their time, this was a good job. Tuko pamoja? This was a good job. And this was something that you would aspire to do. I have a mother who worked for the bank for close to 30 years. Very good job. Yani amelisha watoto, amepeleka watoto shule, amepeleka watoto to private universities because of a bank job. But it is also because of the era that it was. Right now, this person does not have any actual expenses outside what is normal. And this person is not addicted to sport pesa. This person does not have a demanding girlfriend. Nini ingine? Hana hata wazazi wenye wanamsumbua lazima utulishe kwa sababu tulikulisha ukiwa mtoto. Hana hiyo, at least anatoa tu kitu kidogo. And so, because this is where we are told to go, and you see what is ahead of you, the question I want on your mind right now is, so what do I do? Because the first thing that most people will do, because they have this, what is the first thing that we will do? What is the first thing that we will do? You have expenses here. Pesa yako ilishaisha. What is the first thing we'll do here? Yes? Borrowing. because lazima utafute, si ndio? So as we are starting, we start off with, unaenda mali unanunua Suma, unafunguliwa kitabu page yako. And that is a reality. I'm not saying it to be funny. Wengine wetu hapa tuko kwa hiyo kitabu. So uko na kitabu mahali ya mboga, uko na kitabu wapi pengine butchery, uko na kitabu imefunguliwa yako wapi kwa shop. Hata wengine wenu mko na kitabu pale kwa boda. Si ni ukweli? Si kwa sababu anajua utalipwa mwisho wa mwezi. So hii transport anakubebanga tu, alafu mwisho wa mwezi unafanya nini? Unamlipa. But the reality is, ukishaingia kwa borrowing hivi, ni hivyo. For most people, that is the end of the story. And so there has to be a better way. Si ndio? Kuna wale wenye akipigiwa na namba strange haezi shika because of borrowing. And that is a reality for so many people. And I see people looking down ni kama hiyo imewachoma. Nataka ikuchome kabisa, because there has to be a better way. Because these expenses, they are not going anywhere. Okay? They are not going anywhere. They are going to follow you every day. And so you need a way of taking care of your business, your personal business, taking care of your own things that is outside of borrowing. Angalieni hapa. That is outside of borrowing. And so because for me, I understood some of these things, one of the first things that I did was I started a business. While I was employed, I started a business. Why? Because I saw this. Because 2 years in, everyone mwenye tuliingia na yeye, kila mtu alianza kununua gari. Because when we were getting in, the way we were started off, you would stay in the bank for about 18 months, contract, probation, then you become what is known as permanent and pensionable. I know that does not exist today in the bank, but that time it was there. Okay, this is around 2013, 2014. So once people just get permanent and pensionable, you know what it unlocks? It unlocks bank loans. A bank loan for a banker is cheaper than it is to you. Okay? So outside, people are being charged 10%, 11%. Of course, it went to a time when it was 24%. But if you're a banker, you probably are getting it at 4%, 5%. So what does a banker do the very first month on a qualified loan? Gari. Mtajuaje anafanya kazi bank? Ananunua gari. So all my friends around me started having cars. Mimi peke yangu nilikuwa sina gari. Nafikiria hiyo ni pressure inakaaje. Tumeingia job na wewe. Sawa sawa. We are earning the same. You are driving a car. I'm not driving. What kind of pressure is that? Kwa sababu hiyo ndio time tulianza kutafuta madem tuoe hiyo time. So wacha hiyo niwape hiyo story. One of my colleagues who had a car was pursuing the same girl that I was pursuing. Ati pole kwangu. You have not heard the end of that story. And it is a true story. I don't know, I'll have to cut it off from this, Nini. But let me give you that story. So, I would meet with this girl that I want to be my girlfriend because she's a cute chick, by the way. Na I would, unajua, mtu anakaa hivi, mtu anakaa hivi, hata demu unafanya nini? Unatafuta painting, si ndio? So, kama mimi ninaona yeye ni mcute, si lazima pia kuna watu wengine wameona pia yeye ni msupu, si ndio? So, tulianza, mimi, the other name is James, James 1, who is me, sina gari natafuta udem. There's another guy in our office, same name, akona Subaru, akona gari. Mwenye alikuwa anataka nini? Huyo msichana. By the way, it is a true story, I'm not making it up. Ninaenda naona huyo dem, tunakaa 2 hours, good time. Unajua saa hizo hauna do, si unajua hauna do? Nimenunua labda kahawa nini. My friend, he's still my friend until today. My friend, anakuja after mimi nimefanya nini? Nimetoka. Yeye anafanya nini? Ana spin, anakuja. Semeni lakini Mungu. She's my wife now. Wow. Yes. Well, ilikuwa pressure. Lakini yes, sijui aliona nini, labda aliona potential kwa sikuwa na gari. Na si mimi peke yangu, by the way, si mimi peke yangu nilikuwa namtaka. Na si my friend peke yake alikuwa namtaka. In fact, I'm a very lucky man because aliletewa gari by someone else who came all the way from Nairobi. Amemletea her dream car, akamwambia si you be mine, na akakataa. Si I'm a lucky guy. Turudi hapa, turudi maisha yenu. Hii ni maisha yangu. I just walk in blessings, by the way. That's the reason why I love doing such things, because I want you to also inspire other people. Okay? So now, one of the things that I realized early on for me, getting a car was not my first priority. And that is one of the things that I wanted my girlfriend that time to know as well. Because I knew, because this is the work that I used to do at the bank. If you take a car loan, you will never be able to do anything else until about 10 years later. Because what tends to happen is that, you see all these expenses, you put one huge expense, most of the time, around this amount for your car loan. And what bankers most of the time do is, they take a loan that just takes them just a little above the government required minimum for pay. So if you didn't know, by the way, the government says, if there's an amount that you're earning here, a third of it must go into your account. Are we together? On your pay slip, huwezi katwa pesa zaidi mpaka you go home with less than a third of what you made at the start of the month. So what they typically do, because these loans are very cheap, you find kama ana earn 50,000, ana make sure ile salary yenye anaenda nayo at least iko above 17,000. And we've looked at the expenses, and these expenses are not changing. So that's the reason why you'll find mtu kama huyu, now all these other things that they wanted to do, they now have to borrow. They have to borrow. Na pesa ikiongezwa next year, what is the first thing that they do? They go and refinance this loan to get a bigger car, to take another loan which is now called a secured loan, and they say they are going to buy furniture but they never do. So they keep on doing that. And so you find the people who are giving out loans to these people, Shylocks, love them very much. Because one of the things that a banker will never allow themselves to do is not pay a loan. A banker is not allowed to issue a bouncing check. Because if you issue these bouncing checks, you lose your job. So watafanya nini? Umenipea 50,000, I owe her 50,000, I come pick the money from you and I go and pay her. Now I owe you 60,000. I go to her, I borrow 60,000, I pay him, I go again to another person, I borrow 100,000, I come and pay you. By the time anafika huko nyuma, it's almost $1 million. Na ukiboro kutoka kwa mmoja wao, they give your number out to all the other people who do that work. And now you start getting calls. Can you imagine me, 8 years later, I still get calls. We give loans to bankers.
But
Because your colleague gives your number out. Anaambiwa ukitutafutia customer, tunakupunguzia ile yako. So that's a reality that we live in. This is a life that we live in. So allow me to give you the solution. First, the solution is you need a business because employment doesn't work. I don't even go to good employers like PwC or Safaricom. Good employers, because it is worse. Why is it worse? Because you will work for more hours, you're just getting just a little more in pay here. And no one looks at you and thinks that guy is poor. Is this guy rich or not? Is this guy rich? Angalieni hivi, tuangalie hapa, wachani na kazi yenye anafanya. Is this guy rich? Lakini ukimwangalia ukimwangalia kitembea, ukimwangalia ameshika funguo za gari hivi, ukimwangalia anakaa, it's perception. You think they are rich. So I'm telling you this so that you can go and help that banker friend of yours, because now you know the reality. You are the solution for them, because they are not here, they are working right now. They are doing a huge bank job, which is making them drown. So I started with my first business. Of course, I've told you the businesses that I've tried. I tried selling handbags. I even sold women's clothing because nilikuwa nasikia ziko na pesa, na ziko na pesa by the way. And then I started doing photography work. And that is a business that I run until today, apart from why we are here. So I'd leave my job now. I was just checking, it is 12:24. If I had my job by 12, milango zikishafungwa hivi na mimi nimefanya nini? Nimetoka. Because I have a shoot to go and do. Mtu ako na birthday, mtu ana graduate, you have a family event, and someone would say, Aki, by the way hatuna pesa mingi sana. Tulikuwa tumebudget 4,000. Na mimi nasema, ni sawa. So when I got the opportunity to take a loan, the first loan I took was to buy equipment. That was the first loan I took. Nikaenda nikanunua equipment, zilikuwa zinatoka US, zikakuja. So that najua hii equipment naweza fanya nayo kazi so that niweze kupata nini? Pesa. Because this is not a strange payslip. This is a payslip similar to mine. So I knew if I borrow this money, nikipata ka 4,000, ka 3,000, it is able to take me through the week. If I get another job next week, na nilipwe 6,000, nilipwe 4,000, I'm able to take care of my expenses. This is 6,000 for a month. I'm able to take care of my expenses. And that is a good solution. Think about it. If you have a business that you can do outside of the employment that you have, even though we've said employment is bad, even though we said employment is not a solution, over and above, you can actually start a business that requires you to just do work outside of your 9 to 5. So I would work on Saturdays after work and on Sundays after church. And those were my working hours for my photography business. And that time I was not even living in Nairobi. So I would get a job. If I get a job that is on a Saturday, I would see, can you guys move this event to Sunday? Knowing where I am is like 200 kilometers away. So I go, I'll reach, do my work, and go back. In fact, that has just reminded me another business that I used to do. So apart from my photography business, remember I'm employed. Tuko pamoja? I'm employed. And I'm not employed in Nairobi. I'm employed 200 kilometers away from Nairobi. I used to have another business where I would write certificates for doctors. Have you gone into a doctor's office and seen their certificate showing MB, CHB? There was a time for about 3 years I used to do that work. I was employed as a calligrapher. So that's a business that I used to do. So I'd come in on a Saturday, nimefika jioni because traveling from work, nifike jioni, I start working. I work until I finish. I get on a bus. I'll arrive back at work at around 1 a.m. And Monday morning I'm in the office. Kwa sababu hakuna pesa. And so you have to think for yourself. What will I do to take care of my expenses? And the answer is you need a business. That's the answer. In fact, hata ukitoka after now, it's okay. You know you need to start a business. I'll show you how to start a business, but if you start a business, that is a solution. Why do you start a business? It is not a rhetorical question. Why do we start a business? Yes, sir. Source of income. Why else do we start a business? I want enough answers. To solve a problem. What's the problem that you have? I'm just asking so that you explain a little more. What are you solving? Why are you starting the business?
For example, let's say like if you go to farming,
Yes.
specifically chicken farmers, fish farmers,
Yes.
they complain the feeds are so expensive.
Yes.
So you can figure out a way of making cheaper feeds and sell them.
Okay. That's a very deep answer. Hey, okay. It's a very deep answer. Let me try and find if I've understood it. So let's solve akona answer mrefu lakini wacha tuandike hiyo hapo.
To have fun that you're not having at work, at your work.
Nice. To have fun, because of course, you know, I hear these days bosses are toxic. Bosses are toxic, so you need to have fun. What else? Yes, my dear. Pursue your personal interests. And? Pursue interests. And passions that you have. Yes. Securing your income. Can I say legacy? Tunatumia majina kubwa kubwa lakini inamaanisha tu yani usilale njaa. To build networks, I like that. Why else do we start business? Yes, my dear.
Status.
Status, as an investment. An investment in your future, I hope. Cynthia, why are we starting business? Yes.
Maybe help and other people's needs, doing anything.
I like that. To reduce black tax. Si ndio? Umeshinda ukiniomba pesa sana, tunaanza hii biashara unakuwa employee wangu. Si ndio? That is a good reason to start a business. What else? To look busy. Where? Hiyo ni state, Yaani tu watu waonange tu, wewe si mtu kupatikana tu saa zote. That's okay. One of the first reasons why we start business is because God made us not to be employees. Would you like an explanation? In Genesis chapter number 1, one of the first instructions, and forgive me because, I will not ask for an apology. In Genesis chapter number 1, one of the instructions that God gave Adam was, go out, multiply, and have dominion. There is no place in that instruction where it said, go work under someone else. God made you to be an entrepreneur. He never made you to be an employee. Hiyo imenyamazisha watu wengine. We have been taught to be employees. And the reason we have been taught to be employees is so that entrepreneurs can get people to give instructions. Why are you being the one being given instructions and you're not the one giving the instructions? Is there something special other people have that you do not have?
No.
That's a question I want you to ask yourself. Is there something I am lacking that other people have? It's a very personal question because you could probably answer yes or you can answer no. If you're answering yes, there is something other people have that I don't have. What is that thing they have that you don't have?
Mind. Self-belief.
Can I ask that question again? What is it that other people have that you don't have? Because if the answer you have in your mind is yes, what you're saying is that God made other people better than you. What you're saying is that God made a mistake when he was making you. What you're saying is that he took more time with other people and gave them more opportunities than he gave you. So you're saying God is bad. God has favorites. God kuna watu anapenda zaidi ya vile anakupenda wewe. That's what you're saying. If you're saying no, that there is nothing other people have been given more than I have been given, my next question to you is, so why are you living like other people are better than you? I did not expect to even say such a statement today. But I want you to think about it. There is something special that has been placed in you. And the environment that you're living in today, there is something that is missing because you are living a cowardly life. And I'm not just telling you, I'm telling that to myself as well. There is something cowardly inside me that I need to get rid of. Because when you start living in the excellence that God has given you, there's nothing you cannot do. But one issue we have, we don't believe in ourselves. And so, even if I spent the next hour telling you about a business that can change your life, if you don't believe in yourself, you will have wasted your time. And so I like to do this exercise with you. How many people here have a notebook?